Stop smothering your soil. Why loosely spread wood chips build better gardens? One of the most common soil mistakes I see, especially from well-intentioned gardeners, is smothering the ground under a thick, continuous blanket of wood chips. And then, wondering why growth stalls, roots struggle, or the soil underneath turns lifeless. Mulch is supposed to build soil, not seal it off. When wood chips are used incorrectly, they stop behaving like a soil builder and start acting like a barrier. Used correctly, though, they can quietly transform poor ground into rich, living soil over time. The problem isn't wood chips themselves. The problem is how we've been taught to use them. Most advice says to cover the soil completely to suppress weeds and lock in moisture. That sounds logical, but soil is not a sealed container. It's a breathing system. Oxygen, moisture movement, microbial exchange, root exploration, and fungal networks all rely on gas and water flow through the surface. When you pack wood chips too thick and too tight, especially fine chips, you interrupt those processes. In nature, wood never forms a uniform, airtight carpet. Forest floors are layered loosely. Twigs, bark, leaves, needles, and decaying wood fall irregularly. There are gaps, transitions, thin spots, and living plants growing through the debris. That loose structure is exactly why forest soils stay alive. When you spread wood chips loosely instead of burying the ground, you allow the soil to function while still getting the benefits mulch provides. The first benefit is oxygen exchange. Soil microbes, especially aerobic decomposers and beneficial bacteria, need oxygen to work efficiently. A compressed, overly thick layer of chips can slow oxygen diffusion, pushing decomposition toward anaerobic pathways. That's when you start seeing sour smells, slimy layers, or fungal stagnation instead of active breakdown. A loose layer, on the other hand, lets air move freely while still buffering temperature and moisture. The second benefit is water behavior. Thick, compacted wood chips can shed water once they dry out, especially on sloped beds. Rain hits, runs off, and never penetrates to the root zone. Another major advantage is plant compatibility. Gardens are not forest floors, they're mixed systems. Vegetables, herbs, flowers, cover crops, and volunteer plants all coexist. When you completely blanket the soil, you block natural reseeding, suppress beneficial low-growing plants, and force everything into artificial planting holes. These plants work alongside wood chips, sending roots into the soil, feeding microbes with exudates and adding soft biomass when they die back. A sealed mulch layer prevents this partnership entirely. Fungal networks also behave differently under loose mulch. Wood chips are a fungal food source, but fungi don't thrive under suffocation. Thickness matters here. In most food gardens, 1 to 2 inches of loosely spread wood chips is enough. That doesn't mean measuring and leveling. It means scattering, not stacking. You should still see soil in places. You should be able to push a finger through without resistance. If you can peel the mulch up in one solid mat, it's too thick or too compacted. So people often worry about nitrogen tie-up, but honestly, this is mostly an issue when wood is actually mixed into the soil, not just laid on top. A loose surface layer, it decomposes slowly and only draws nitrogen right at the immediate interface. Plant roots that are deeper in the soil, they remain unaffected. There's also a practical maintenance advantage. You see, thick mulch layers can really become a chore. They have to be pulled back for planting. They tend to harbor slugs, and they can even hide soil issues until, the damage is already done. Loose mulch, on the other hand, lets you observe soil condition, insect activity, and plant response in real time. Raised beds benefit especially from this approach because they drain faster and heat up more quickly. Raised beds need airflow and moisture moderation, not insulation overload. The biggest shift here is mental. Mulch is not a lid, it's a filter. Its job is to soften extremes, not eliminate interaction between soil and environment. Gardens don't fail because of too little mulch. They fail because of the wrong kind of coverage applied the wrong way. Loosely spread wood chips protect, feed, and cooperate with living soil instead of suppressing it. If you want soil that improves year after year, stop smothering it. Scatter organic matter the way nature does. Give microbes room to breathe. Let plants participate in the process. And allow your soil to stay alive while it's being protected. That's how wood chips actually build better gardens.